Background: I, 26F, come from a relatively traditional Asian family, so sorry in advance for the bad English. My father owns a rice wine brewery and my mother help him with it. Even though I said my family is pretty much conservative, from what I've seen growing up, my father never told my mother to do all the chores and he helps her with it. My father always say that he couldn't provide for the family alone and she has to work. That's why he never expect her to do everything in the house. Just like how they share the responsibilities to earn for our family, they also share responsibilities taking care of the household. Now, come my fiancé, 29M. We met on social media. He's an American who's currently working in my country. We've been dating for 3 years and been engaged for 5 months. He always tell me he's looking for a traditional woman and want a date with marriage in mind. He said that women who are able taking care of household and child rearing admirable, and I always agree to him without much thought because that's indeed incredible feat, right? He's working in a small university and I'm currently working in hospital. We saved enough to buy a house with a little bit of the help of my parents, but we haven't moved in together though because you know Asian parents. But anyway, on my father's birthday last week, we talked about marriage once again. He doesn't think his income alone would be enough after our marriage and it's giving him insecurity, so I suggested that I keep working after marriage and that's not a problem because we'd be partners. My father also offered that we take over his brewery, and while I found the idea lovely, my fiancé on the other hand seemed hesitant about it, but he agreed that I should keep my job. That was where the first problem started. I told him that since I have to work then I expect he'll help with the household chores later. After I said that, he suddenly got irritated. He said that he had been telling me he's looking for a traditional woman and that now he had been catfished since I don't want to take care of every house chores because I'd still work anyway. Whenever he said he's looking for traditional spouse, I always thought that he'd also be a traditional spouse, a being sole provider so I can focus on taking care of the house and child if we ever have any. But when I told him that, he said I'm a gold digger and materialistic like any other woman, even when I never once asked him to be sole provider. He brought that up first. Mind you, I didn't even let him spend alone whenever we go out on a date. E.g., he paid dinner, I paid for coffee and movie. Even my father willingly offered his brewery if we want to take care of it as a mean to provide ourselves. So where's the gold I should have been digging here? That was when I actually put the ring down and tell him that I want to break up. I told him he's not traditional enough if he wants fully traditional wife. I didn't want to deal with someone who could easily call me a gold digger because I want to share the chores. That hasn't even happened yet. In front of my parents. I can't help but think if he could easily said what he said in front of my parents when we haven't married yet, then he could be saying something worse if we're married and alone. I went home alone and he texted me saying he was sorry and he didn't mean what he said. He asked to meet but I don't feel like it. However, when I told my friends, most of them told me I was a bit too emotional, hasty and impulsive, that I might look like an asshole because I don't even want to meet him. His mother now trying to talk me out of it and that I'm too old to act like this and it's the culture barrier that lead us to this point. So, here I am, trying to look for a new perspective. AITAH?